How do you build a successful Kickstarter campaign? Today I'm going to talk about 3 things that I think everybody needs to do prior to launching a Kickstarter. These things will almost guarantee your success if you follow through with them. And if you like this sort of information, I wrote a book called Unnatural Talent here, and it's in the show notes below. Let's get started. So I launched my first Kickstarter campaign about 6 or 8 months after Kickstarter started. And at that time, about $3,000 was about the maximum amount that comics could get on the platform. So I put that as my goal. And sure enough, I made $12,600. And it really changed my opinion of this whole crowdfunding thing. A couple years later, I finished my second graphic novel, Remind 2. And to my surprise, it raised a whopping $107,000. I attribute a lot of the success of this to the fact that Kickstarter just hit its first $1 million campaign around that same time. So a lot of hype was on Kickstarter at that time. A couple years later, I made a brand new book, a new series, and I raised another $51,000 on it. And I'm about ready to launch my next campaign for Volume 2 of Sithra. So that is me. So where do we start with Kickstarter? Well, look at these 2 comics. What do they have in common? They're both amazing, right? They're amazing content. And you have to start with good content. A lot of people have good ideas and they think they're amazing ideas, and these ideas are all in their brain, and they try to present their ideas to everyone and pitch it and say, give me money for my idea. I promise it's going to be amazing. But if people can't see that it's amazing for themselves, then they probably won't back it. The only way that someone will raise a lot of money for an amazing idea that hasn't been finished is if they've already built that trust with their audience. They've already proven that they have amazing ideas in the past, and they've followed through with those amazing ideas. If people don't want to share it, then it's not going to have very much luck. This is a quote from an ancient Roman philosopher. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Now, people say I've had a lucky career, but I think it's just because I've been working at it for so long that I had finished things. I'd made books and comics and animation, and every time I would finish something, an opportunity would present itself because it saw the work that I had done. Kickstarter was the same thing. Kickstarter came along after I had finished Remind, and so that opportunity presented itself, and I was able to jump on it because I was prepared. So then the question is, how do you get prepared for Kickstarter? You got to start by building a tribe. 1,000 true fans, as Kevin Kelly says. He said anyone producing works of art needs to acquire only 1,000 true fans to make a living. Now, true fans, the definition is a little unclear. I mean, people can have different ways of looking at it, but the idea is that these people will buy everything you make. You don't need 1 million fans in order to make a living from art anymore, especially because of the internet and being able to cut out a lot of these middlemen. Now, don't worry, we'll get to Kickstarter. We'll get there. This is just how you have to prepare before you go to Kickstarter. So how do you build your tribe? 1, give away everything for free. Put your best work online for free. Everyone likes to try stuff before they buy it. You'll sell to your tribe that you've built on Kickstarter later, but you have to build that tribe. 2, spend months or years to finish your book. Make it count. This was my first book. Put a lot of time and energy into it. Because of that, people actually wanted to spend money on it. Again, I didn't try to convince people with some imaginary idea I had. I had about 80 or 90% of the pages done when I launched my Kickstarter campaign, and there was a bunch of people who were waiting for me to print a book. The third thing you got to do before you start a Kickstarter when you're trying to build your tribe is to start a mailing list. And do this as soon as you can. Start a mailing list the first time you go on the internet if you can. First time you launch your website. Because these are people who you are gathering their information, their emails from, who are waiting to buy from you. So you'll put a little banner up on your website that says, join my mailing list and I'll let you know when my book is out. Your mailing list is one of your most important assets because these are repeat customers. Repeat customers are the best customers too. They're people waiting to buy from you. And just so you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, these are not mailing lists. A mailing list is a group of people who have given you their confidential information, their emails, because they want to know when you have something new for them. I use the software Aweber. MailChimp is also a great one. MailChimp is actually free for the first so many emails that you have collected. Aweber, you have to pay $10 a month from the start. But they're both very robust, really good systems. You don't want to send out emails to a mailing list from your personal email because it will start getting blocked, and then your personal email will start getting blocked by spam filters. So you need to use some sort of mailing list software. So when do we get to Kickstarter, right? I mean, yeah, that's what we're talking about, Kickstarter. So why am I talking about not Kickstarter? Well, okay, all this stuff is in preparation to Kickstarter. You need to do all this stuff before you even come to Kickstarter. Otherwise, you'll have a hard time with Kickstarter. So we've built our fan base, we've built a mailing list, we've finished a book. Now can we go to Kickstarter? Yes. In the next video in this series, I'll talk about the 4 ingredients that I think every successful Kickstarter needs. And then after that, we'll talk about 20 Kickstarter strategies. Subscribe if you like this sort of thing. I'll talk to you later.